All right, folks, today is Saturday, June 14th, which means today is the day that Trump is inflicting a multi-million-dollar taxpayer-funded domestic military parade through the streets of Washington, D.C., come hell or high water, even though there's like a 70% chance of torrential rain and a flood warning. He says it doesn't matter. The military will march for his birthday. At the same time, state TV in the form of Fox News is just totally giving the game away about what this is really about. And last night, in preparation, in advance of the Washington, D.C. military parade, U.S. veterans were protesting, and the Trump administration arrested an 80-year-old U.S. veteran. It's really disgusting. On the upside, millions upon millions of Americans today are protesting this gross military birthday parade and Donald Trump in general as part of the No Kings mass peaceful protest. I actually just returned from one here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was hot, but amazing. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we've got a lot to cover here. This is going to be the only video of the day, and I really want to talk about Trump's parade because it truly is a terrible Rubicon of authoritarianism that we're crossing. First, here's footage that went viral yesterday of Trump law enforcement agents arresting an 80-year-old U.S. veteran who was protesting Trump's military parade.
Put his hands in front of him.
Keep it going for foot.
His hands in front of him. Put 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 his hands in front of him.
As you can see, people are appalled. The U.S. veteran in question can barely walk, but he is being escorted away and arrested for simply protesting Donald Trump. I will also point out Trump is, again, making no bones about this. This is from earlier today. Storms will probably be numerous this evening in the D.C. area. Heavy rain could cause flooding, but too soon to know where the worst will occur. This could cause disruptions for Army anniversary festivities, okay? Now, in response to this, Donald Trump said this: "Our great military parade is on, rain or shine. Remember, a rainy day parade," and he fucked up the word parade because he's in cognitive decline, "brings good luck. I'll see you all in D.C." And as I note, okay, Trump selfishly insists on having his disgusting birthday military parade even under probable flood conditions. Really gross and unpatriotic to force our troops to march around D.C. in such conditions simply to glorify himself. Imagine how MAGA would react if Biden had done that. Of course, Biden, nor Obama, nor Clinton would have done that because despite their many, many faults, they were all objectively morally superior by far to Donald Trump, the most morally inferior politician in modern American history. So yeah, he doesn't have to stand out in the rain. He'll be just fine. He's going to be protected by umbrellas and shelter. He doesn't have to march his old orange ass from A to B. He doesn't have to do any of that. But he is happy. He's eager to inflict that upon U.S. troops. Again, simply to glorify himself, okay? To say nothing of the potential damage this could do to Washington, D.C.'s infrastructure, to say nothing of the millions and millions and millions of dollars in taxpayer expenses that this will accrue. All of it just a typical Trump vanity project. And again, Fox News, of all places, gives the whole game away. I'm stunned that they either allowed this Freudian slip to be published, or perhaps it was just an honest phrasing by their lights. They just don't care because it's full mask off. So this is Fox News. Today is at real Donald Trump's 79th birthday, and he's sharing the spotlight with the U.S. Army's 250th birthday parade. Watch the celebration live on foxnews.com, unapologetically. And happy 79th birthday, Donald Trump. Note how it doesn't say happy birthday, United States Army, happy 250th. It's all about Trump. Trump is front and center, and even Fox News is officially recognizing that. Because the cope from bad faith MAGA liars has been, it's really not about Trump. It just happens to be Trump's birthday, but it's really the 250th anniversary of the Army, and that's really what we're celebrating. Well, number one, we didn't have a 225th birthday parade for the United States Army. We didn't have a 200th birthday anniversary military parade for the U.S. Army, so this really seems out of line with the precedent, number one, which makes it hard to believe. Number two, Donald Trump has wanted a military parade since even his first term. And number three, when you have this creepy cultist shit from Fox News giving the game away, Trump is, it's his birthday, front and center. We got to acknowledge that first, before the army, before anything else. Oh my God, today is Donald Trump's 79th birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. President. And you know what? Graciously, Trump is sharing the spotlight with the United States Armed Forces, graciously. And then again in the iconography, Trump ahead in front of the American flag. Happy 79th birthday, President Donald Trump. Did they do this sort of shit for President Biden? And imagine if President Biden or President Obama had decided to have some sort of parade on their birthday, or if their birthday even happened to fall on the birthday, the anniversary of the founding of the United States Army. Would Fox News ever approach it that way if it were a Democrat? Of course not. As I know, state TV Fox News tells on itself with this despicable, unpatriotic, un-American tweet. Trump is sharing the spotlight with the U.S. Army. They admit it. Trump's parade is about himself first, the Army a distant second. Imagine if it were Obama. Would Fox react this way? Of course not, because they're unprincipled, unpatriotic, hypocritical losers who deserve your contempt. They hate this country. They hate you. They love Donald Trump because they're afraid of Donald Trump. It's just that simple. A Fox News digital columnist went so far as to say this: cost of 2020 George Floyd riots, $2 billion. Cost of 2025 U.S. Army parade, $45 million. Seems like a good deal to me. What an incredibly stupid thing to say. As I note here, David's post suggests a genuine medical emergency, indicating that he's too fucking stupid to be left unsupervised. If David has any loved ones, unlikely, please go to him immediately and protect him from himself, or summon professional caretakers to do it for you. And I stand by every word about that. Now, why is David's statement from, again, a Fox News digital host, why is that so stupid? Well, number one, riots are unlawful. So why are you comparing the military parade to an unlawful riot? Are you creating an equivalence? Are you telling on yourself, David Marcus, you moron? Number one. Number two, the riots were quelled by law enforcement because they were unlawful. Number three, no Democratic president called for riots. There was no Democratic president at the time. Democratic lawmakers called for peaceful protests but condemned the riots. Are you suggesting that there's a moral equivalence here, that this military parade is the moral equivalent of a series of multi-year nationwide protests, some of which became riots? What are you talking about? What's the equivalence here? Did the George Floyd riots involve the United States military? Was it a celebration of any Democratic leader's birthday? None of this makes any sense. It's a really stupid thing to say that would certainly appeal to conspiracy theorists and MAGA loser lunatics, right? Who are just like, oh, George Floyd, all you have to do is construct a sentence which says George Floyd, U.S. Army, you're good. You're good. But if you actually spend more than, I don't know, 0.2 seconds thinking about the stupidity of what David had to say, none of that makes any coherent sense whatsoever. It would be one thing if a Democratic president called for some sort of public event and then it spiraled out of control and cost $2 billion. Then even that still wouldn't be an apples to apples comparison, would at least be more understandable. But this is one of the most genuinely stupid tweets, most bad faith tweets I have ever seen. And of course, again, it comes from a Fox News correspondent, a digital correspondent. And again, the same Fox News that had this to say earlier today. Super, super gross. Sharing the spotlight with the United States Army. Oh, thank you, Donald, for deigning to share the spotlight with the United States Army. I mentioned the No Kings protests, and a lot of them have gone on already. There was a permitted time for Charlotte. It ended at 2 p.m. I was there. Thousands and thousands of people. It was peaceful. It was well organized. You marched down in uptown Charlotte. It was awesome. If you look at No Kings on Twitter, you'll see all kinds of videos and pamphlets from all across the nation, all across the world. You've got Chicago is fired up. Tens of thousands of protesters have gathered for the No Kings Day. You've got Joshua Reed Eagle said this is one stretch of one side of the street in deep red small town Knoxville, Tennessee today. This is a city that Trump won in 2024 by 20 points. And again, people are out in force peacefully protesting against this would-be wannabe monarch. People in Pittsburgh, no king, no King's Day. My God, look at, again, thousands and thousands of people. In a stunning moment of patriotism, Los Angeles has shown out for the No Kings rally today in protest of Donald Trump. This is beautiful. Bernie Sanders is talking about an event that he went to. No Kings in Houston. Again, hundreds, if not thousands of people. And of course, it depends on the time as well. A massive crowd, likely more than 7,000 strong, showed up in Salt Lake City for No Kings to say loud and clear, no kings, no dictators, just democracy. So it's, again, really inspiring, folks. More than 2,000 rallies have been planned by the No Kings movement all across the country. It really was awesome. It was massive. It was peaceful. I hope they all remain peaceful. I hope that nobody gives Trump's administration, his fascist regime, the pretext that it desperately seeks to use overwhelming violence against protesters. Be loud, but be peaceful. They are not mutually exclusive. Raise your voice without raising your fist. It's what happened down in Charlotte. Seems to be what's happening pretty much everywhere, and I hope it remains all the way true and through without any sort of incident. So all I'll say in summation is this country was predicated on multiple things, multiple idealistic notions that very often we have failed spectacularly to live up to, but one of the biggest, if not the biggest, was a repudiation of monarchy. We threw off the yoke of King George III. We were very blessed to be led by George Washington, first General Washington, then President Washington, a man who did not seek power despite his many faults, a man who had to be effectively forced into assuming command, a man who at the end of the Revolutionary War could have overthrown the otherwise defenseless Continental Congress, having just beaten the British. The Continental Congress and the fledgling United States would have been helpless against George Washington's Continental Army, and instead what General Washington did was resigned his commission. He submitted to civilian leadership. He didn't have to be asked to do so. He voluntarily turned over power. And then, after being pressured into becoming the first president of the United States, which he did not want to run for a second term, but again was pressured by the founding fathers and the people of America, twice unilaterally won a total unanimous electoral college vote. After the end of his second term, President Washington could have run for a third and fourth term and effectively have been president for life, but he chose not to. It was the Cincinnatus principle. Donald Trump is a betrayal of all of that. He desperately, so horny to be a king. It's pathetic. It's un-American. Most people recognize that. It does not deserve your respect. It does not deserve your dignity or your time or your appreciation. This deserves nothing but your contempt. Donald Trump's attempt to seize power and glorify himself. Super gross. It'd be gross if a Democrat did it. It's gross now that a Republican leader is doing it. More Republicans should speak up and repudiate. But if not, again, check out nokings.org. See if there's still events going on, depending on the time zones. There may very well be. If you show up, be peaceful, be mindful. And let's peacefully protest this authoritarian would-be monarch. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.